Good morning. I'm Wanda with Jimmy Branch Homestead, and today we're going to be putting soups on the shelf. I'm going to be making both a split pea soup and a white bean with ham soup. So here we go. The first I'm going to do is load up the navy beans. And we're going to put 1/3 cup of dry navy beans. And I need to kind of pick through them. And you want a level cup. You don't want to be heaping it up or it'll be too many in the jar. Pick out any bad ones, broken or discolored ones. Make sure there's no rocks going in. Discolored ones would just really look bad in the jar. And I'm using white navy beans, but you can use whatever kind of white beans you like. I would stay away from lima beans, however. Now we're going to do the same thing with the split peas. Make sure these are level 1/3 cups. This is going to be a very thick soup. Okay, that's our dry ingredients. Next up, for the beans, we need 1/2 cup diced ham. Let's do the dry ingredients first, or the ones that aren't so, let's see. So 1/4 cup of carrots. And for the split peas, it's 2 tablespoons. Let's see, where'd my... Oh, I had them out here last night, I thought. Oh, okay, got my tablespoon. Let's do 1 in each first, and then I'll go back and see if I have enough. I should have. parsley and 1/4 cup of diced celery in the beans. We're going to put one in each of the split peas. Two tablespoons of onions in each of the split peas. Oops, two, not one. And 1/4 cup in each of the beans of onions. And this is per pint, so if you wanted to do it in quarts, you would just double everything. One-half cup, so it'd be 2 scoops of ham in the beans. And this is diced ham. I bought it as cubes and it was still too big, so I just cut it in half. Or, you know, some of the pieces were the right size and others were not. And the same amount in the split peas. And then 1/2 teaspoon garlic powder in all of them. 1/2 teaspoon salt in the split pea. And 1/4 teaspoon salt in the bean soup. One 1/4 teaspoon pepper. Oops, that's not the pepper, pepper goat. There it is. And 1/4 teaspoon thyme. Tippy, hush. In the split peas. And then we're going to fill it up with either stock, like a chicken stock, or water even. So I'm going to use chicken stock. So let me grab that and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm going to use my homemade chicken broth that I canned last summer, when we butchered our chickens. And we're going to fill it to about the bottom of the rim. Not the top rim, this bottom one. This one has quite a bit of fat in it, so I'm going to try and spoon that out first. These soups will already get some fat in them from the ham as it cooks up. I mean, it's all fully cooked ham, but, you know, as it's canned under pressure, it's still going to have some more come out. Not perfect, but that'll do it. I do use a separator when I'm canning my broth, but some of it always gets through. Of course, if you don't can your own stock, you can always use bought. I like the organic chicken stock from Kirkland at Costco. It's a great chicken stock. But you can use whatever your preference is. And I have a little bit left. I'll just add that to some soup that I can make a little later. Let's see, add just a little more. Okay, next we're going to debubble. Let me go get the utensil for that and the vinegar to clean off the rims. Okay, I got my little tool to debubble here. And we just want to reach down in the jar and stir up all them peas and break them apart. Yeah, they kind of stick in the bottom once they get that water on them, or that juice on them. Give them a good stir. Okay, looks like those are all still a good level. Oh, that one could use just a little more. Use a splash. So those look pretty good. And then we're going to debubble the beans. They're much easier. They don't stick like the peas do. And we'll top off any ones that need that. Okay. And then next we're going to clean the tops to make sure there's no fat or spices that could inhibit the sealing. And we're just going to splash a little vinegar on there. Yeah, see it? Oh, that one had quite a bit of spices up on it. So turn that back out. Okay, I'm back. So the battery had died, and I'm not sure how much I got of that last one. So I did have two regular pints. So I got the lids on those, and then I dug out my wide mouths for the rest. On some of this pressure canning, I'd had a lot of failures lately with my ball lids, and they were some that I had bought during the pandemic, so I'm thinking maybe they were not as high a quality. And we're going to twist the ring on and then do finger tight. Not super tight as you can do, just what you could do. You know, wait till it quits spinning and then just a little more. Oop, that one's bent. Always check your lids, your chip, the tops of your rims and your rings, just to make sure they're not bent. Okay, so I have my canner with about 5 quarts of water in it, which is what my canner takes. We're going to put the jars in, but make sure they do not touch the sides, nor do they touch each other. And again, everything's cold that we're putting in. And I put the 2 regulars on the outside ring because if they were all wide mouth, they would not fit in here. But let's see if I can show you there. Okay, so now I'm going to put the lid on. mine has two little V's here that I have to, I don't know if you can see those on camera or not, but there's one on the lid and there's one on the handle here that I match up. Okay, and then we twist it to lock it in place. I will be canning at 10 pounds pressure, but we don't put this on yet. So now I'm going to turn the burner on, and I'm going to only turn it on about medium, just right below medium, because my heat here is pretty intense on my stove and I want to bring up the pressure slowly. So once I get a full steam coming out of the vent, I'll bring you back. Okay, we have steam coming strong out of the vent, so I need to set the timer for 10 minutes. Once the timer goes off, I'll bring you back and share with you the next step. Okay, the timer's going off. So at this time I'm going to put on the weight. My weight is 5 pounds for the center and 5 pounds for the ring. I also have another ring if I was at an altitude that I would need to use that, but I am below, excuse me, I'm less than 1,000 above sea level. So I'm putting on the weight, and then next step is waiting for it to jiggle. Once it jiggles, I will bring you back so you can see what that looks like. Okay, it's only been a few minutes, but the weight is now jiggling steady. So at this point, I'll set the timer for 75 minutes. And once the canning process is complete and it's cooled enough to take out the jars, I'll bring you back to see how it looks. Okay, I'm back and the processing is complete. The timer's going off. So at this point, I'm just going to turn the burner off. And this is still full of pressure, so I'm going to let this cool down and depressurize completely. If you try and jiggle it and get that out of there, you may get some of the liquids, lose the liquids in your jar because it'll siphon it out. You'll have siphoning. So I want it to just completely depressurize before I open the lid. I'll bring you back once that is done and see how they turned out. Okay, the soups are done canning, the beans and peas, and the pressure has dropped. And this is an example of what the beans look like, all cooked and ready to eat. And another beans. Oops, one of them popped. And this is the split peas. As you can see, it is pretty thick in the bottom. That's the last of the beans. Peas. Oh, they're loud. It's okay, dogs. Great sound of sealing. Thanks for watching Jimmy Branch Homestead.